investment that carries risk. Texacoin.org.
It's the gaming event of the year, featuring T-Pain's Nappy Boy Grizzlies versus Neo's Gentleman's Gaming. It's a 4v4 matchup featuring Call of Duty, Tetris, Trackmania, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4, and Tekken 8. Season 0 of the Global Gaming League is live streaming on YouTube and Twitch. Head over to globalgamingleague.com.
Everyone loves The Office. Admit it. You wish you had a Dundee. Instead, you have this, The Office Deep Dive Podcast, hosted by Brian Baumgartner, a.k.a. Kevin from The Office. Every week in this new hilarious podcast, Brian sits down with one of his old friends from The Office as they discuss their favorite moments on set and never-before-told stories.
Your kids watch it?
Never.
No, come on.
They've never watched it.
Listen to The Office Deep Dive on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app. He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
Here we go on a Wednesday afternoon on 1300 The Zone in the iHeart Radio app. It's the Craig Way Show. I am Cameron Parker filling in for Craig Way on today's program, and glad to have you with us here, whether you're listening on the free iHeart Radio app or on your radio dial on AM 1300 The Zone, or possibly listening on our podcast page after the fact. Glad to have you with us here. Cameron Parker filling in for Craig Way. Producer Jake Herman with us live in studio from Austin, Texas, as we have reached the hump day. No Texas football this weekend, so hopefully everyone's weddings that you are attending is this week. And I got number 2 out of a 3-week span coming up this Saturday, but it's going to be a real fun college football Saturday. A lot of great games: Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU, Penn State, Oregon. A lot to get to, and we'll get to that in today's program. Craig Way will be out the rest of this week. He'll be back next Monday, taking a little deserved time off. He will still be calling some high school football this week before he heads out to Las Vegas, taking in Ringo Starr and his all-star band. One of the remaining Beatles members that's still alive, still touring, Ringo and Paul McCartney. He'll be taking in Ringo Starr. So looking forward to hearing from Craig next week. On today's program, we got the Third and Longhorn gang stopping by live in studio. Nick Shuley and Mark Higgins. They'll be joining us here in about 10 minutes, actually. Get their thoughts on the first half of the Texas football season, or really the non-conference slate that's finally over with. Texas 3-1, losing their season opener to Ohio State, then reeling off 3 consecutive victories against some undermatched, underwhelmed opponents. But, we saw some bad and we saw some good. And now Texas will begin conference play next Saturday against Florida. And then Oklahoma, the Red River rivalry. Ooh, almost said showdown there. Some people still say showdown. Some say shootout. I believe the official vernacular is Red River rivalry. John Mateer possibly will not be the starting quarterback in that game. It might be Michael Hawkins Jr. If you missed it yesterday, John Mateer undergoing hand surgery for an injury he sustained in the first quarter against Auburn. So Texas may be getting a huge break at the Cotton Bowl. We'll talk about that and more. It is Ryder Cup week at Bethpage Black. I'm super excited for this event, and we're going to preview the Ryder Cup with Jeff Shackelford, my good friend, golf author and reporter. Get his thoughts on this showdown, what he makes of the narratives, the pay for play in the Keegan Bradley and the crowds. It's a lot of European narratives that's been pushed against the Americans this week. I think trying to get into the heads of the host team. So get his thoughts on the Ryder Cup later on in today's program.
These real narratives, Cameron, or VR narratives?
I think both. A little bit of both. A little bit of both. Get his thoughts on that. There's also some sound we're going to hear. Scotty Scheffler and the Americans visited with the media yesterday. I believe the Europeans either today or tomorrow. I know they had to move up the opening ceremonies due to some heavy rain in the Farmingdale, New York area. Is it too early to talk college baseball? Maybe, maybe not. But Texas baseball are playing on Saturday at Dell Diamond, hosting Texas Tech in a little bit of a fall exhibition match. They'll play 2 games, one Saturday and then one next Friday at the Dish against Lamar. Tickets are available. So Jim Schlossnagle spoke with the media yesterday. We're going to hear a little bit from him on that fact. The voice you just heard is, of course, our producer, Jake Herman. Jake, good afternoon. How are things in your world?
Busy but fun. It's been a pretty good week, and yeah, Ryder Cup always kind of gets the buzz going. I'm what they call a casual golf fan, but I'm going to be locked in for that.
Yeah, I will be too. Matches begin Friday, I believe about maybe 6 a.m. Central Time. I will be awake, coffee in hand, cheering like a maniac, as hopefully it'll be Bryson DeChambeau on the first tee. Looking forward to that. Big college football weekend, as we mentioned in the opening of the show. Big NFL matchup. But we're seeing the injuries start to really hurt some of these big teams, including John Mateer in the Oklahoma Sooners, who underwent hand surgery yesterday in his right throwing hand that occurred after breaking a bone in his right hand in Saturday's win over Auburn. Sources told ESPN's Pete Thamel. Underwent surgery. I believe it went successfully. There was no really timetable for return from Brent Venables. He said he's just going to miss some time. I'm sure OU is going to play this pretty tight to the vest here. They don't want to give. They want teams to prepare for John Mateer and Michael Hawkins and whoever, if possible, especially Texas. So, but based on what we've kind of heard, and even Joel Klatt talked about it on his podcast, it's probably going to be about a month. They said maybe 3 weeks, but, that's pushing it. And for an Oklahoma team that has a real tough schedule, I'm not sure if you want to rush him back for the Texas game. I know that's going to be a big game for the Sooners, but, the rest of the schedule, absolutely brutal. So they have Kent State. They have bye week this week, then Kent State, then Texas at the Red River, South Carolina, Ole Miss, who's dealing with their own quarterback injuries, Tennessee, at Alabama, the Tennessee game, by the way, on the road, South Carolina on the road, Missouri, and they close against LSU. So uphill battle for an Oklahoma team that's 4-0, has cracked the top 10, number 7 in the country, that I believe before the injury was a 3.5-point favorite over Texas in the Cotton Bowl. If John Mateer was healthy, OU most certainly probably would have been favored in that game based on what we've seen so far in the first month. But now Oklahoma will be without possibly the Heisman frontrunner, Jake. Mateer, he's been a lot of fun to watch coming over from Washington State. They brought over the offensive coordinator, but this is a huge injury right in the middle of the season, right at the beginning of conference play for the Sooners.
And we won't necessarily get a picture of what OU's offense looks like without him during the next couple weeks, right? You mentioned the open date and then the Kent State game. I'd expect OU to keep things pretty vanilla with Hawkins, their backup, up until then. So it'll be interesting to see what that offense will look like, how it changes their running game, because that's, I guess, the one advantage that the Sooners would have left with Mateer out. It's obviously a huge loss. It's hard to spin that positively for Oklahoma.
And their running game really has been non-existent. Running game has basically been John Mateer, who leads the team in rushing at 4 yards per carry. So far through 4 games, he's thrown for 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 149.5, 5 rushing touchdowns as well. But it's an Oklahoma team that has really struggled to run the football. So far this season, averaging 125 yards per game on the ground. Not ideal considering who they played so far. And you look back to Michael Hawkins Jr., that game last year, Hawkins really struggled. Only 148 passing yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. ran for 27 yards, about 1.4 yards per carry. I believe Texas able to sack him 6 times in that game, 11 tackles for loss. Michael Hawkins also had a fumble he lost as well, and Oklahoma will lose that game 34-3. That game now shifts from, boy, can Texas, can they pull out a victory there, to all of a sudden now they'll be favored. And based on how the Texas defense has looked, I'm not sure Oklahoma can win that game. Joe Klatt, again, on this podcast today, said that the reason why Oklahoma's 4-0 and has been able to beat Auburn and Michigan is because of John Mateer. Their defense has been great, but Mateer's made so many key plays, 11 straight completions against Auburn to win that victory, to win that game. And then against Michigan, I mean, his rushing touchdowns were massive. With Michael Hawkins at quarterback, I'm not so sure Oklahoma wins those 2 games. But we'll talk a little bit more about John Mateer, Oklahoma college football, up next with the third and Longhorn gang. Nick Shuley and Mark Higgins live in studio getting their thoughts on the non-conference play so far for the Texas Longhorns. Again, if you want to join the show, love to hear from you. Text the word Texas to 81530, followed by your message. Also, you can use the talkback feature on the iHeart Radio app. A Yacht Rock Wednesday, by the way. Yes, we will still honor it even if Craig Way is not in town. All that and more coming up. The Craig Way Show just getting started here on 1300 The Zone.
Text Texas, followed by your message to 81530 to chat along with your favorite sports radio, AM 1300, The Zone hosts. That's Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply.
Need space that's designed to last? Mueller Inc. delivers pre-engineered steel buildings customized for your style. From garages and workshops to barns, warehouses, even airplane hangars. Our bolt-together buildings are designed to last decades with proper installation and maintenance. Designed for strength, engineered for Texas. Visit us today at any of our locations across the Austin area, including Marble Falls and Spicewood, or go to MuellerInc.com.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
Guilty, erroneous, sustained.
Are you just saying random words?
Don't settle for just any insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Harge here. Friday Night Lights in Texas are all about family pride and showing up strong. That's exactly what you'll find at Covert Chevy in Hutto. Right now, get $14,048 off MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 RST or $9,278 off of MSRP on a new all-electric 2025 Chevy Blazer EV RS. Chevy Strength, Texas tradition, family first. That's Covert Chevy right off of 79 in Hutto, Texas. CovertChevyHutto.com. Together, let's drive.
Don't you agree that it's a wonderful thing to save a dog's life? I certainly do, and I invite you to go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a $15 a month donation right now. Do it now, and Thomas J. Henry will generously match all charitable donations made this month online at puppyfoodbank.org. It's your chance to help save thousands of pets in our community, so please give a little to help save little guys like you. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org right now, and they'll send you a very nice gift.
With the first pick in the license plate draft, Team Harge selects Hardball.
And the second pick, Henry selects Strongest.
That's the beauty of MyPlates.com. You can create your own winning plate.
Yeah, and unlike a real draft, nobody's going to boo your pick.
Well, go to MyPlates.com, use the promo code THEZONE, and get your plate today.
Because the only thing better than a W is a W on your bumper.
That's MyPlates.com. Use the promo code THEZONE.
iHeart presents Ice Cube, Truth to Power Tour, taking the stage at Moody Center, October 16th.
Straight out of Compton, it's a crazy brother named Ice Cube.
Get tickets now at livenation.com.
0628.
No power? No problem. With a whole home backup generator from Abacus. Abacus offers professional Generac installation with extended warranties, financing, and now certified Generac maintenance plans. Abacus, you can count on us.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I'm Julian Edelman. That's Rob Gronkowski. And guess what, folks? We're teammates again. And we're going to welcome you guys all to Dudes on Dudes.
Dudes on Dudes.
That sounds a little weird, but that's what this is going to be. Roberto, what's Dudes on Dudes?
Well, I'm a dude. You're a dude, and Dudes on Dudes is our brand new show, and we're going to see who the ultimate dude really is.
The premise of this show is going to be, we're going to highlight players, peers, guys that we played against, legends from the past, and we'll get into the types of dudes. What kind of types of dudes are there, Gronk?
A lot of different types of dudes. We got studs, wizards. We got freaks.
Or dudes, dude.
We got dogs.
We'll break down their games. We'll share some insider stories and determine what kind of dude each of these dudes are. Is Randy Moss a stud or a freak? Is Tom Brady a dog or a dude's dude?
We're going to find out, Jules. New episodes drop every Thursday during the NFL season.
Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and X. Go to Apple Podcasts and write a review about dudes that you want us to do.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
Back to Craig Way, the voice of the Longhorns on 1300 The Zone.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
Yacht Rock Wednesday here on 1300 The Zone. Jake, what you got for us here to start off a Yacht Rock Wednesday?
The immortal Bill Withers with Lovely Day.
So we're now joined in studio by the Third and Longhorn guys, Nick Shuley and Mark Higgins, and they're probably wondering, all right, Yacht Rock Wednesday, Bill, what's going on here? So the host of this program, Craig Way, we have established Wednesdays as Yacht Rock Wednesday because Craig is probably the biggest Yacht Rock fan that I know. Yacht Rock guys?
Sure.
Absolutely. Sure, Nick.
I've got a Bill Withers story.
Let's hear it.
I was in a restaurant in LA, and I was sitting down eating dinner with some friends, and guy came in, sat down next to me, it was Bill Withers, and I'm like, oh wow, it's Bill Withers. Then Paul McCartney came in after it. They sat together for dinner right next to me. I was like, wow.
Man,
dude, Higgs is the king of stories like that. He is like, because he was Lance Armstrong's manager for 20 some years, and we'll just say something, and casually in a sentence he'll be like, yeah, I was on it. Oh yeah, no, that's crazy. Yeah, we were in a helicopter once with Bono, and you're like, this is not no one has these stories, dude. And he's like, he's the guy that in every picture of Lance, like if you just look a little to the left, Higgs is in the background. It's like a Where's Waldo game.
in all of them. Well, it probably helps you because you walk around athletes so much, not to be so starstruck around guys.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, I've been at dinner with Paul McCartney and Bill Withers. Yeah, you played running back for who? I don't.
Yeah. How many years? 2?
Only started 1.
Yeah,
but no Yacht Rock for you, Nick Shuley.
I'm fine.
You're probably the biggest music guy here in this building, right?
Well, I don't know about that, but I definitely have a long life in the music industry. I would say I can't say I listen to a ton of Yacht Rock. I got to know Christopher Cross through the music scene here, and so I've delved more into his catalog because I didn't know much of his stuff, and then we're obviously do the hit, but or the hits. There are a couple, huh? Yeah, but my bad. But
no, I hope Craig didn't hear that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm not the person to be talking about this. Craig's gonna annihilate me.
I didn't know Yacht Rock was a genre until actually college. I had a professor who absolutely hates yacht rock, and he brought it up. And then I started working with Craig, and of course he loves yacht rock. So I was like, "Oh, this is funny. I'll make sure he never talks to my professor from UT." But now I've gotten a little bit more in the yacht rock. Did you guys watch the HBO documentary?
Yeah.
I love that.
It was great.
That was great.
I need to watch it. I actually do want to watch that. I saw the preview for it. So.
It's good just to get the background of
especially them trying to chase Steely Dan.
Yes.
It's great. So
Steely
good.
Dan, yes. The ending is great when okay.
Don't give it away.
I didn't have y'all
That's a
come in to
tease.
talk yacht rock here. Wanted to talk a little Texas football with you guys. Of course, third and Longhorn, by the way, you can listen to it on 1300 The Zone. Also check out their work on YouTube, social media. A bye week. Finally get a bye week, the first open week of the season. Texas comes in 3-1 in non-conference play. Let's start with your guys' biggest takeaway so far from the first month of the season. I think if you said beforehand, hey, 3-1, you would have taken it. Now, albeit in hindsight after the fact, there's probably a little bit of a question mark still remaining about the Texas team, mostly on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I think the funny thing is we spent all offseason, and most Texas fans did, most pundits, every single person said at the start of this year, the defense is going to carry this team. And the offense will be a work in progress that will hopefully hit its stride by, the midway through the season or the Florida game or the OU game. So we're kind of right on track there. But the funny thing is we as Texas fans, we say all that. And then the second the season started, we're like, everything's going to be perfect. It needs to be perfect. We need to, score 100 points and hold them to 0. And hasn't looked like that. So I would say there's not a ton of surprises. I firmly thought we were going to beat Ohio State, and had we had a little bit better of an offensive performance, I think we would have. But 3-1, we're getting healthy, hopefully by this Florida game. I think we're in a good spot.
Mark?
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, I think we do it every year. We get so hyped and bought into it, and we just think we're going to go undefeated. And, you're going to have some setbacks. You start out with that monster game on the road, and, like Nick said, 3-1, getting into the bye week, I think you guys would have taken it. Most people would have said, fine, sign me up. And, we'll see what this team's made up. And I'm sure Sark's spending these 2 weeks getting these guys ready to go to the swamp. And we'll know more in a couple weeks.
I think the defense, my expectation for the defense coming in I thought it was going to be a top 5 unit in the country. I think so far they've kind of upheld that. I mean, 14 points to Ohio State, but, that first touchdown came with some 2 costly penalties that extended the drive. No points allowed against Sam Houston. I think I could have played defensive end and got at least 1 sack.
At
least 1 sack. 10 against UTEP and then 7 against San Jose State. So the defense, I think, has the talent, and not to mention all the turnover that come in. The offense has been kind of the part where we're like, all right, come on, pick it up. Did you see enough from Arch Manning in the offense last Saturday to make you feel better about the team heading into conference play? Or are you thinking, hey, it's just Sam Houston, let's not get carried away here?
I try not to get carried away because I know that's probably not a good football team. Now, Arch did exactly what needed to be done and, maybe calm down some of the people. But I think the real test starts, a couple weeks from Saturday.
Florida or Oklahoma? What's the real test?
I think Florida just being the road game. I mean, Lagway may be banged up, but that defense is pretty superb as well down in Florida. So I think that one it'll be a test and be out there. And that's a rowdy place to go down to. So, and then, of course, you got OU where anything can happen. So right, take these 2 weeks and get ready.
Yeah, I think I don't take too much from that game, but we know who Arch is, I think, right? And I think my trust is in Sarkisian, and that guy knows offense, he knows quarterbacks, and if those couple rough patches that Arch had were what he was showing every single practice, I don't think we would have I think we would have been a little more prepared for that. So I think that I think things are fine. I think we're going to be all right, but he needs to, it's an analogy I've used forever, but it's like if you played basketball, you just need to see the ball go in a couple of times, even if it's a layup, if it's whatever, you got to have some success, and then it's going to come easier. And I think he was very sped up and rushed at the start of the year. I'm hoping that game kind of calmed him down of like, okay, I can do this again. And I think he had nothing to lose last year, whereas this year you got the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Yeah, that's a good point, because last year, he had kind of like a swagger, a cockiness, a bravado to him when he came in. Now, it was Quinn's team, right? He was the starting quarterback, and then Quinn goes down. All of a sudden, hey, Arch, you're in. There's no time for that hype to really build up. Since the Ohio State loss, it was, the next day, there was stuff being posted. Okay, it's Arch's team now, right? And so 18, 19, 20 years old, even if he grows up with the last name Manning, there's no way to prepare yourself for that type of that hype, right? All that pressure on you. And it definitely came out, and it took him maybe 4 games for him to kind of get that swagger back, but he definitely has it. I mean, there's been a lot said about, the way he acted after the touchdown run. I don't care.
Yeah.
I love that.
We've been wanting that.
Yeah.
Now we're complaining about it.
Baker Mayfield does it every game.
Yeah,
people love Baker Mayfield.
Think he's a hero.
They think he's great. And then maybe it's because he's an underdog story, whereas Arch Manning is not. But it's like, that's what I want to see. If that's who your personality is, that's what I want. I want to see it come out.
Yeah. And I think when he plays with confidence, he's he's a very good player. I just think the game needs to slow down for him. And that's why I agree with Higgs. I think Florida will be a real test. Like, if this team can't put up points, I liken us to it feels like we've had this stud pitcher, who's allowing 1 run a game, and, we're close to losing these games. So this feels like a team that if we can put some combination of 3 scores on the board, most likely 2 touchdowns and a field goal, we should win the game. But we've also got to score that many points. And I think Florida's going to pose a tough test. Like that defense is very good. But I love our defense playing on the road. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. Florida's offense is terrible.
Yep.
When you came in when you and Jeremy came in and we were talking after the show, I was super high in Florida because I thought DJ Lagway was severely underrated. That first half against Georgia before he got injured was super impressive. But now looking at it, I believe he's thrown more interceptions and touchdown passes against FBS opponents. He's in a boot right now. Yeah. I think when he wakes up out of bed, he hurts himself. He's not been able to stay healthy. But their defense is special. Only gave up 26 to a really good Miami team, 20 to LSU, and then 18 to South Florida. So the defensive line, they got a couple possible, first, second round draft picks on that D line. But the way Lagway's been playing, if he's banged up, and then Oklahoma, John Mateer news, huge, because all of a sudden that game goes from, I think, a possible loss for Texas now to, Michael Hawkins is quarterback. Okay,
we saw this movie.
And how did it end for Texas? Great.
Wasn't great.
I have such an internal struggle with this because my parents both went to Washington State, so I followed John Mateer all last year. I'm such a fan of his, but I was praying he went to Miami because I think it was down to Miami and OU, and then he ended up at OU. So, I have, my gut says he's going to find a way back for this. And I know the timelines don't work out, but man, I've seen different articles here and there. So we will see. But also I think that this OU team, after what I've watched, I think almost all their games this year, they do not scare me. I do not think the team is that good. Then maybe that's just me. I think that, the last game was a game they should have crushed. I don't think Auburn's very good, and they did not look strong, but that's just my opinion.
Not even the pass rush?
I mean, the pass rush is impressive, but also Jackson Arnold, I can stand in the pocket and get hit for 10 minutes. So like that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't take a lot from what I've seen so far. I think Mateer's a gamer, and so I think as long as he's in the game, they have a chance, and their defense is good. But I also think that I think our defense is better than theirs.
Yeah, I think out of every 10 passes from Mateer, he's probably going to have 2 that are just like, are you kidding me? And there's also 2 where he throws it straight to the defender. So,
yeah.
But without that, with Michael Hawkins, their offense changes because they can't run the football already. Mateer's our leading rusher, leading rushing touchdown getter. Now, all of a sudden, he's out, and Joel Klatt mentioned it. I talked about in the first segment of the show. Like, they don't beat Michigan. They don't beat Auburn without John Mateer.
Mm-mm.
Now, all of a sudden, you remove him. What does his offense look like? And that, I think, favors Texas, especially the Texas defense, who is now looking back and going, the guy that we sacked 6 times last year and fumbled and was thrown all over the place. Yeah.
34-3. Yeah.
We'd love to play him again.
Yeah. And if you jump out to a lead, they're going to have to throw the ball. And so, yeah, let's bring it on. So I think a lot between then and that game, but our D, I think, keeps us in every game, no matter what, whoever we're playing.
I agree. The sad part about this, from just a college football observer and a fan, the Red River rivalry the last couple of years, either Quinn's been hurt going into it or Oklahoma hasn't had a quarterback. Because last year Michael Hawkins Jr. against Quinn Ewers, that was unfair. we did have Quinn versus Dylan Gabriel. Remember, Quinn came in hurt. Now he was hurt every game, but we weren't sure if he was going to play for that game. 3 years ago, Quinn was coming back from an injury. But remember the Oklahoma quarterback? Was it Davis Bevel? right?
Oh, that's right. It was like a tight end.
Poor kid. Yeah, I mean, it's like even worse than the tight end. The backup kicker coming in. Who
He's like, I played quarterback a little in high school.
Yeah,
They were calling for General Booty.
is that 52-0 that game? 55-0.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
So honestly, since the days of Sam Ehlinger versus Jalen Hurts or Kyler Murray or Caleb Williams, I know we did have Casey Thompson versus Caleb Williams in Sark's first year. But I was looking forward to Arch versus Mateer. If it's Arch versus Michael Hawkins, it kind of stinks for the college football world, but it's probably better for Texas because this next month is going to be huge with 4 straight games away from DKR.
Yeah. And also, you'd hate to see a guy miss a game like this, just and looking at that from a national perspective, it'd have been good to have. We'll still have the eyeballs, but you feel for Mateer. But also, to Nick's point, I think he's going to give it a go. So there's no way that the Texas coaching staff is not prepared to see him in that game. So I know the surgery was today, and they say 3 to 4 weeks. But if he can shoot that thing up and get out there, I think he'll give it. I mean, he played with it the whole Auburn game, right?
Yeah. So it depends on the healing part of it.
Thumb too, right?
Yeah, I believe it's his thumb. A texter texted and said, "Did he hurt it gambling?"
Yeah, that kind of went away. Where did that?
That went with the Ohtani stuff. It's like under the rug.
Yeah, all of a sudden it was gone. It was everywhere, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Hey, don't worry about that."
Yeah, we're good. Well, they realize maybe the NCAA has it's rigged to the point where he's going to win the Heisman.
Yeah,
so
we need a Heisman front runner, so we're just going to let it go.
Ohtani's translator jumped on that balloon.
We have the third Longhorn guys with us: Nick, Shuley, Mark Higgins. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to do non-conference superlatives, offensive MVP. Yes, there was one, right, guys? Defensive MVP. Newcomers, best moment of the year so far, all that and more here. It is a Yacht Rock Wednesday here on the Craig Way Show, and it continues after this on the free iHeartRadio app.
The 2025 football season has finally arrived, both at the collegiate and pro level. Here's a question. Is your home entertainment system performing like a pro? Are you happy with yours? If not, why not visit with Tom McKay and his great people at Audio Visual Consultations? AV Consultations is one of the largest dealers of most television and audio brands, so the chances are they're going to have or be able to get whatever you need for the entertainment system you've envisioned. You don't have to shop for the TV and the surround sound, not to mention all the mounts, the equipment needed to make it work. Tom and his guys will handle it. They'll bring home everything needed for your space, and they'll set up all of it for you. So whether you're into watching college football, the NFL, or some other form of sports or entertainment, let Tom McKay and his guys handle it for you. It's that easy. Give my friend Tom McKay a call today at 512-255-8678. That's 512-255-8678, or check them out at avconsultations.com. Let Audiovisual Consultations help you realize the home entertainment system of your dreams.
After a trip to the 2025 Women's Final Four, an SEC championship in their first season, and sold-out crowds at the Moody Center, Texas women's basketball is on fire. And season tickets for 2025-26 are on sale now, starting at just $100. Longhorn Nation helped deliver the first undefeated home season in 22 years. Now it's your turn to be part of the action. Bring the energy, bring the pride, bring the Texas fight all season long. Lock in your seats today at TexasLonghorns.com.
Hennion and Walsh was made for people like you. People who understand the value of experienced, highly skilled professionals. That's why you'll have access to a team of specialists to help you invest for the life you want. Why? You've earned it. We're Hennion and Walsh, and a team built around you. Get a second opinion. Call 800-279-5279 or find us online. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Hennion and Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Hennion and Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Looking for something new? Try fencing, the Olympic and Paralympic sport that mixes speed, strategy, and fun. It's like chess meets cardio. Quick feet, quick decisions, and a satisfying beat when you score a point. Kids, teens, and adults can start anytime. No experience needed, and many clubs have loaner gear. Coaches teach fundamentals and safety from day one. Find a beginner class near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing. That's usafencing.org/tryfencing.
This is Secret Clinical Dominating Extra Stinky Stress Wet. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave.
Oh, what a beautiful day.
This is regular deodorant.
Ugh, I can't.
Secret Clinical with workout sweat.
Let's run another marathon.
And regular deodorant.
How much more?
Secret is the GOAT because nothing fights sweat better.
Stay fresher under pressure.
Every Nissan Frontier is battle tested. Its frame is twisted. Its door slammed 13,920 times. And its bed drop tested over and over. We do all that to the V6 powered Frontier, so you never have to hold back. Nissan, ranked #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Football season is in full swing, and there's no better place to get in on the action than BetOnline, your #1 source for all things football. BetOnline has all the latest odds, breaking news, live scores, and even in-game betting, so you'll never miss a moment. From every pro to college football matchup, to baseball, cage fighting, and hockey futures, BetOnline keeps you locked into the action all year long. Head to BetOnline today, because at BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, Daniel Jeremiah here. And I'm Bucky Brooks. On Move the Sticks, we take you inside the game, from breaking down college prospects and NFL rookies
to evaluating team building philosophies, coaching trends, and how front offices construct winning rosters.
We study the tape, talk to decision makers, and give you a perspective you won't find anywhere else. Listen to the Move the Sticks podcast on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow the Move the Sticks podcast and start listening on the free iHeart Radio app today.
Coach Sark here, back to the Craig Way Show on your home for the Longhorns, 1300 The Zone.
He is on the Mount Rushmore of Yacht Rock. He is Christopher Cross, and we talked about him in the beginning of the second segment here on a Yacht Rock Wednesday. Nick Shuley and Mark Higgins from 3rd and Longhorn jumping in the studio here, and we talked a little bit of the college football landscape in the last segment. Now let's talk a little bit of Texas football superlatives from the non-conference slate. Texas 3-1 after losing to Ohio State, rolled off 3 victories over San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston. Some good, some bad. I think some in between. But let's start off with your guys' offensive MVP from the non-conference slate. And it will be tough to find one here, but we'll start with you, Nick Shuley. Who is your offensive MVP from the first 4 games?
So you texted me this, and I spent a long time thinking about this, and I'm like, statistically, your offensive MVP is Arch, but and he's been in every game. He's played in every game. I think that's been the big issue on the offense is you've seen this rotating cast of characters with injuries. Man, it's tough. I mean, if I had to pick one person that's kind of been an uplift, I'm going to go for now with Parker Livingston.
Mm-hmm.
But even he had a game where he kind of disappeared. So it's a tough one, but I've been impressed with Parker. I think he put himself on the map. I think he stepped up. And so for now, I'd put him as that. I think it will eventually be Arch, but right now I'm going with Parker.
Can we take like pieces of guys to make one guy? Like
this quarter here,
Arch's arm,
right there. Game 1, Trey Wise.
Yeah.
Game 2.
Yeah. I mean, since he went with Parker, I guess I'll go with Arch just because I think if he's really terrible, we're not 3-1. So I think we'll know
if he's
more.
good, Texas is 4-0, right? Or above average?
Maybe. I mean, two penalties. Maybe that game is tied 7-7, and maybe it's an overtime game. So I don't know. It's a good problem. At least we're 3-1, and without playing stellar football, consistently. The running game had some sparks there in a few of those games, but I think like Nick said, Parker was probably the story for a bit, but he also did disappear, and Jack had the same thing for a little bit there. So, let's talk about the defense.
Well, real quick. So here's a stat that that might surprise some Texas fans. The number one player in total touchdowns in college football is Fernando Mendoza from Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who's tied for second?
It's going to be Arch.
Arch has 9, right?
Yeah.
He's 14.
14.
Yeah.
He's second. Mendoza with 16. Arch is tied for second, actually, with Bryson Barnes from Utah State and Taylon Green from Arkansas. So Arch is scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it's Arch then.
You've seen those comparisons of, Mateer's leading the Heisman campaign, and Arch's stats are nearly identical and better in some categories.
Hey, Arch has 3 more touchdowns than Mateer.
Mm-hmm.
And Mateer is going to be out for 2 to 3 games.
Yeah, Mateer's also 4-0 and hasn't lost yet, but also he hasn't played the number one team in the country yet. So
I'm going to flip this back on you, Cameron. I want to hear your thoughts. Can Arch get back into the Heisman conversation?
Ooh.
Because he went from top to completely dropped out now, and now, like, where do you think?
Well, let's look at it from this way. Like, Mendoza is the number one. He's a favorite, the betting favorite right now, and I believe Indiana, they play Ohio State, and then what's the rest of their schedule? So
they've got Oregon.
Yeah, they've got Oregon.
I don't think they have Penn State this year, though.
So there's a chance where if they win those games, and Mendoza plays well, he could possibly win. I think Carson Beck is the other guy, although he didn't look incredible against Florida this past week. He's still good enough. Mateer would have been my pick to win the Heisman, but then looking at the rest of their schedule, you're wondering, does he have to win out? If with Mateer being out the next couple of weeks, Arch comes in, they beat Florida, he plays well against Oklahoma, and then they beat Georgia, beat A&M. There's an argument that I think because the Texas defense, as you said, Mark, they'll be in every game just because of the defense, but they're going to need Arch to kind of step up and make some plays for them to be able to win. So I could say yes. Now, I also thought the last 2 years Quinn Ewers was going to win the Heisman, or at least be in New York, and he didn't. The team was still in the College Football Playoff because of that defense.
I think if he goes and wins the next 4 games, I mean,
he's back.
He's definitely back in it. I mean, Mateer's fallen out of it. It's through no fault of his own.
As quickly as the press dumped Arch, I think they will. I think that hype train will build right back up if things start going well. Texas keeps winning and he plays well.
The prom queen's back on the phone. I'm available.
Well, I mean, look at Caleb Williams this past weekend. He balled out against the Dallas Cowboys defense. All of a sudden, there's some look at this Caleb Williams flea flicker throw. Even though the week before they were completely dogging him, there's all these hit pieces coming out about how he's a bad locker room guy, bad culture fit. But hey, he throws a couple touchdowns. All of a sudden, the media loves him again.
Well, ask Higgs about that because Higgs is a Giants fan, so you can ask him about Russell Wilson and putting himself on the map.
I put no stock in Caleb Williams' game this past weekend because Dallas's defense is awful.
Well, 2 weeks ago, they were going to retire Wilson's jersey at
they were making the
Meadowland,
statue,
and then the next week they're getting ready to, okay, let's put Jackson Dart in.
Yep.
They were asking if he wants to wear number 56.
Well, we'll get Higgins now his wish. Defensive MVP. We'll start with you, Nick Shuley.
Man, I like stat wise. I think I've been most impressed with Leonga Lafau, but I'm not gonna pick Leonga just because Derek Johnson ruined our mental framework by letting us know that the years that he played, a lot of times the linebackers who played with him had more tackles, obviously because everyone was focusing on the star player, and so I'm putting. And I know this may be a little controversial, or it may not, but I'm going with Anthony Hill because I think he does so much during the games that it forces everyone to concentrate on a lot of other people. But I also think a good safe pick is Michael Taff, who's leading the team in tackles, etc. So, I'm gonna go with Ant.
Mark.
Hard to argue, but I am going to pick Leonga. I think he's been outstanding and just a quiet guy, but also he's involved in all of the plays and. People are like, who did that? Who was that tackle? Inevitably it's Leonga, so I'll take him.
If you watch the Ohio State game, and I'm guessing most Texas fans probably won't rewatch that, he's blowing up their offensive line play after play. He's been great. I think you could also argue Grayson Littleton, who might come up in our next question. Even Ty Anthony Smith. He's really stepped up the last couple of weeks. But then also, with the secondary guys, if you don't hear from them, you probably forget about them. Manny Muhammad.
He's been shut down. Jelani,
no one's talked about Manny, and then Jelani kind of at the star position. He's been everywhere too. He had a fantastic game against UTEP and Sam Houston.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, I think the defense, it's easy to pick players when you're playing well. I also think the middle part of our defense has been super impressive. I think it's a position that was the one piece we thought might be a weakness on this defense because you had so many new faces, but Rod Watson, Cole Brevard, Travis Shaw, everybody has been, they've been fantastic. So I think, there's a lot of people you could pick, but I don't know.
Preseason when Sark said he thought he had, was it 16, 17 guys that could start? I mean, that's an embarrassment of riches, and we'll take it anytime we can get it.
Hey, it's why the first game against Ohio State, there was no two deep because there wasn't really a two deep yet created because Sark and this defense was at so much depth. Okay, newcomer of the year. It can be a transfer player or it can be a freshman. I'll even give you true freshman, or even just a redshirt freshman. But so far, who's been your newcomer of the year?
You go first this time, Mark.
I'd say Bo Meester.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
The punter from down under.
Yeah. I had impressive game. 50-yard punts. I know
now, is this because he was just on your guys' podcast?
We might be a little biased. But I think a cool story, transferring in, but not even learning about football until he was a little bit older. But has shown, and I think we'll need him, coming up as conference play opens. You're going to need, that special teams there'll be a game or two where special teams will kind of hang in the balance. So I'll go with him.
So man, that was kind of mine. So I'm gonna go. Okay. Dude, he's flipped he changes the field. Like if Texas defense and their special teams can play like they did in the last game, where it changes everything for this team. But man, I think because I guess Parker wouldn't count, especially because he technically is a newcomer, but not. But I already picked him for that. So I'm gonna go newcomer. I'm gonna go Endries.
Jack Endries. Yeah. He did not play against Sam Houston, right?
He played a little bit. I think I'm not sure, but I think he may have been a little dinged up or something. Because I know the game before they were saying he was a little dinged up, but I think he's gonna do some great things.
That was a get right game, but also a get rest game for
a lot of guys.
Anybody who are even
Trey Wisner, CJ Baxter, Okay,
who's yours?
I would probably say Grayson Littleton, just because I know it's a new freshman quarterback, Julian Sand, but to be able to lock down the best receiver in college football like that from day one, from the jump, I think cornerback to me is the hardest position to play in football. I didn't play football, but just drawing an island out there and going up against Jeremiah Smith,
on the road first game.
I think you may have won this round, Cameron, because you've convinced me already.
So. I think it's like what's the hardest thing to do in football? Block Myles Garrett or play cornerback. I think those two are up there. So I would say Grayson Littleton for me. Biggest surprise player. I didn't give you this guy's one on the questionnaire, but biggest surprise for you, and it could be good, it could be bad.
We'll keep it positive. I think the way that Parker broke out is this kind of. I think you heard over the summer like they were gelling, and people were expecting a lot from him. But I thought, especially the game he had where he kind of balled out in that San Jose State game, I put him as biggest surprise so far.
Oh man, I like what James Simon brings. I think he's going to be something special. I think the problem is he's going to be buried so far in this depth chart, especially once Wisner and Baxter are back. And you got Jared Gibson playing well, and you got Christian Clark too. But you see that kid, and as an 18-year-old walking in there, like he's something special. I think he's my biggest surprise. I knew I'd heard good stuff about him. He has a dad who played, etc. But I was not expecting that.
Last one for you guys here. What's been your favorite moment so far of the season? Was it Pat McAfee jumping off the diving board in Miami?
Are we talking Texas or just in college football?
It can be anything, but let's go Texas wise.
Okay, I was going to say anything.
Mike Gundy being fired.
I was going to say the league. I was going to give the league course, I think, because that was kind of cool to see.
This guy,
but I'll let Nick go. I'll think of a Texas thing.
Oh man, I like the Parker Livingston putting the guy on skates and showing off his track speed. I think that's been my favorite Texas moment this year, probably. I need to think about it a little more though. Higgs, you got one, or Cameron?
Actually, last weekend was cool. Like we're posted up for the pregame show, kind of right on Bevo Boulevard, and up until a couple weeks ago, I'd never seen the team come in. Down Bevo, because we're usually either watching at home or hanging out doing things. So that was kind of cool to see. And then to kind of go a little mushy is the night game. The first night game I think is always cool. The drone shows and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I wish we had a little bit more night games. The next one will probably be Arkansas for Texas, right?
I hope so.
Vanderbilt's 11 a.m.
Probably A&M, but
I believe Arkansas will be an afternoon game. So Vanderbilt will be 11 a.m. kickoff. And then, of course, A&M at least will be a night game. But unfortunately, not a lot of night games this season. We need a break. We'll come back, close out the hour number one. Nick, Shuley, and Mark Higgins from Third and Longhorn are here as the Craig Way Show continues on the free iHeart Radio app.
Do you ever feel like when you're talking, nobody is listening? Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone will listen to you. What is on your mind? Go! All you have to do is use the iHeartRadio app talkback feature when listening to AM 1300 The Zone.
Yo, hello, it's me. Enjoy the show.
We will get your message instantly, and we promise to listen to it.
Hey, it's JB and Sandy. You know, we like to tell you guys about people and places that we do business with because we know they're going to treat you well. And we can certainly say that about our friends Scott and Stacy Feller at Koala Cooling. If you don't have a good relationship with an AC company, make this relationship. Get in touch with our friends at Koala Cooling at koalacooling.com or call them at 512-759-8800.
I know a lot of you are new to Texas, so take it from some longtime Texans and some native Texans on this show. You need a maintenance plan, a regular scheduled service, and you can do that with Koala Cooling for just $27 a month, and you'll just stay on top of it before you have a disaster, before you're caught without AC with triple digits.
It's great because they'll call and say, hey, it's time for your checkup. We'll send someone out there. Are you available tomorrow? And that way you know that your system is working well. Reach out to our friends at Koala Cooling. They are qualified.
Make parking the easiest part of your night with ParkWiz. Reserve ahead and roll right in so you can enjoy the show, the game, or a night out without circling for parking. Save up to 50% off a secured space and skip the stress. Smarter parking starts here. Download the ParkWiz app today.
Hey there, local business owner. Ready to make some more money? Whether you own an auto shop or a dinner spot, Valpak Direct Marketing can help you do just that. All bells and whistles are included, so you advertise when and where it counts to reach new customers that spend more. Measurable results, proven reach, zero guesswork. That's Valpak. Visit valpak.com/advertise to see if you qualify for a free mailing. That's VALPAK.com/advertise. Let's grow.
iHeart presents Ice Cube Truth to Power Tour, taking the stage at Moody Center, October 16th.
Straight out of Compton, it's a crazy brother named Ice Cube.
Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
You took the elevator to the 48th floor and handed him the briefing. Your fingertips touched, sending a shockwave of desire through the air. The room pulsed with a silent craving as he drew you in with his smoldering gaze before uttering the words your body ached to hear.
The next train on track 2 is delayed.
And all the while, you were on your commute home. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover romance titles on Audible.
Make parking the easiest part of your night with ParkWiz. Reserve ahead and roll right in so you can enjoy the show, the game, or a night out without circling for parking. Save up to 50% off a secured space and skip the stress. Smarter parking starts here. Download the ParkWiz app today.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Longhorns basketball plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
All right. 1 hour in the books here on the Craig Way Show. Nick, Shuley, Mark Higgins from Third and Longhorn. And thanks, guys. I hope you guys had some fun. Right?
Yeah, no, this is awesome. Thanks for having us, man.
So you guys have been super busy, obviously helping out, working out with us. But tell us what's coming out. I know you just released an interview with Jack Bomeister, the transfer putter, and then you got some stuff coming out later on this week and next week. What's on deck for the Third and Longhorn podcast?
Yeah, we'll probably lay low on this quote off week. We'll just put out the Bomeister one and then be back next week with the preview show and the post game show. But then we'll kind of throughout the rest of the year we're kind of trying to space them out. We've got some really good interviews that we did. We did Mason Shipley, we did Lance St. Louis, we did Hero Kanu, Jelani McDonald, and then we got Derek Ochoa too.
Nice, yeah.
But if you don't know Derek,
he's a mastermind.
Dude, Derek's the one that does all the videos for Texas that you see out there, and his interview's awesome. We definitely need to get that one out because it was a really good one. He's a cool guy.
Well, thanks for coming in, guys. We'll have your preview podcast 3 hours before network coverage every Saturday, and then the post-game show following network coverage as well. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for carrying us, man. We love being here.
We love it. 1 hour in, 2 more to go here on the Craig Way Show on a Yacht Rock Wednesday. Just getting started.
Fall is the perfect time to transform your home or business with fresh new color. The team at Serta Pro Painters of Greater Austin handles every detail worry-free from start to finish. Serta Pro Painters is the painting service you can rely on here in Austin, whether painting inside or out. Go with the pros at Serta Pro Painters of Austin. That's Serta with a C. Right now through October, get $250 off any project over $2,500. Call and schedule your free estimate today.
Fall into savings at Maxwell Ford. Hit the trails in a rugged Ford Bronco or cruise Austin in a new Bronco Sport. Lease a new Ford Bronco for just $447 a month with zero down, or a Ford Bronco Sport for just $347 a month with zero down. Maxwell Ford, home of transparent pricing and no dealer add-ons. Visit us on South I-35 or maxwellford.com. Bronco MSRP $47,307. Bronco Sport MSRP $32,990. First payment to assignment 36 months, 10,500 miles yearly. See dealer for details. Ends 9/30/25.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Introducing the IHOP Value Menu, where all your breakfast faves are just $6 each every day. Where else can you get a big, filling, sit-down breakfast for only $6? Go to your happy place with the $6 IHOP Value Menu. Available every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again. Because more people are listening to the radio on iHeart today than they were 20 years ago. And only iHeart Broadcast Radio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, social, any other media. Even twice as many teens than TikTok. And that reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for your business. Radio's here now more than ever, and iHeart's leading the way. Think radio can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, podcasting, and radio, where the reach is real. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time, just call 844-844-iHeart and get radio working for you.
The free iHeartRadio app makes your car radio jealous.
Live radio presets, lyrics for songs, and the most podcasts on the planet.
Plus, it all fits in your pocket.
Your car radio can't do that.
Make sure the free iHeartRadio app is on your smartphone now.
The #1 app for radio.
Portions of the following program will be recorded.
Hey friends, I'm Jessica Capshaw.
And this is Camilla Luddington.
And we have a new podcast. Call It What It Is. You may know us from Graceland Memorial, but did you know that we are actually besties in real life?
When one of us sends out the distress signal, the other one always answers the call. Big or small, we're there.
And what does that look like? 1,000 pep talks, 1,000,000 I've got yous, some very urgent I'm coming overs. Because, I don't know, let's face it, life can get even crazier than a season finale of Grey's Anatomy.
And now here we are, opening up the friendship circle.
Someone's cheating?
We've got you on that.
In-laws are in-lying?
Let's get into it.
Toxic friendship?
Air it out.
We're on your side to help you with your concerns. Talk about ours, and every once in a while, bring on an awesome guest to get their take on the things that you bring us. Listen to Call It What It Is on the iHeartRadio app.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KDET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app. He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
Second hour of the Craig Way Show here on a Wednesday afternoon, Yacht Rock Wednesday. Cameron Parker with you alongside Jake Herman. Special thanks to Nick, Shuley, and Mark Higgins from the Third and Longhorn podcast for stopping by in the first hour. That will be on our podcast page. Good conversation talking college football, the Mateer injury rather, and then getting their thoughts on non-conference superlatives, offensive MVPs, defensive MVPs, newcomers, best moment of the year so far. So that'll be posted on our podcast page later today. No Texas football this weekend, but remember, every Saturday on game day and Friday when Texas plays A&M, the Third and Longhorn podcast will get us started with our college football coverage. That airs an hour before Longhorns game day, and then we bring you network coverage of the Texas football broadcast. Craig Way is out this week. He'll be back next Monday with Texas on an open week. Of course, we want to hear from you on this program. Text to word Texas 81530 followed by your message, or leave us a talkback message on the free iHeartRadio app. And message coming in regarding John Mateer's injury, as it looks like be 3 to 4 weeks. He'll be out. I would say it's probably doubtful he plays against Texas, but a text coming in saying, it is apparently a disclaimer in the SEC conference guidelines that Texas can only play backup quarterbacks, former starters, and or kids found in the library. That's a great text. And at first you might be like, this guy's a hater. Well, think about this here. I think about this last year, in which, part of winning in any sport, right, is you got to get kind of not lucky, but have sort of injury luck on your side, because all it takes is one injury and it derails your season, right? Houston Rockets, looking at it with Fred VanVleet out for the year, that's a huge loss for Houston's titles hopes. Oklahoma, all of a sudden 4-0, thinking, hey, we're going to smash Texas at the Cotton Bowl. Now it looks like, we're going to have Michael Hawkins at quarterback. But if you look at the starting quarterbacks Texas will possibly face here, going back to last year, I believe they faced a backup. And, this isn't this is just, it's not fiction, it's fact.
I've got it in front of me right here, the list.
You got the list here? Read it off for us.
So if you go back to 2024, even the Georgia game, Gunnar Stockton played the second half.
Yep.
Marcel Reed was the backup last year for Texas A&M. Played in that game.
He's a starter now. So,
right.
It's not
that
like...
doesn't really count.
But he is the starting quarterback now, so part of it.
They faced the backup quarterback, Cutter Boley, in the Kentucky game.
Who?
They faced Talon Green, who's now the Arkansas starter. Didn't start the year that way.
Who was their starter before the year? Was it Blake Shapen? Did he transfer? It was. It doesn't matter. He's someone that transferred in and someone that probably transferred out. But yeah, Talon Green's a starter now. The Florida game,
they did not face DJ Lagway.
Yep.
It was Aiden Warner, a backup.
A third string, right? Because
and by the way,
remember, Graham Mertz was their starting quarterback who went out early in the season. Lagway comes in, and then Lagway gets injured, and Aiden Warner came in, who might as well have just been the team's starting punter.
Right, and by the way, Kentucky, they benched their starter.
Was it Calzada?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And then in the OU game, they faced Michael Hawkins. In the Mississippi State game, they faced Michael Van Buren, who I believe was newly named the starter.
Yeah, because, actually, I believe Blake Shapen was the quarterback, right? And then he got, I think Texas was supposed to play Blake Shapen at one point last season in some shape or form. Because Shapen, it was supposed to be Shapen last year, but he got injured, and Michael Van Buren made his first start because he was a true freshman. And then Michigan, brand new quarterback coming in. So, yeah, there's part of it where Texas has, I would say, gotten fortunate with playing teams who don't have their starting quarterback, but also Texas didn't have Quinn Ewers, their number one quarterback, for how many games? The last 3 seasons, right? So that's part of it, right? Is being able to, as coaches say, next man up, right? It's coach speak, but there's some truth to it, right? At a certain point, being able to win a championship is about being healthy. In the NBA, you can look at it. OKC stayed healthy for most of the season, right? It's a big reason why they were able to win a NBA championship. Philadelphia Eagles, right? All these other teams in the NFC and in the AFC were dealing with all these injuries. Philadelphia came in probably the most healthiest team throughout the season. They won it all. Ohio State, right? Will Howard, Judkins, Henderson, Smith, Abuka, Tate, their entire defense, Jack Sawyer, Caleb Downs, right? All those guys, they stayed healthy. That's just part of winning in sports, is staying healthy. But there is some, it is kind of funny that Texas has been able to face some teams out starting quarterback. Now,
it's just funny that it's more times than not they're facing the backup quarterback.
Now, would they have, beaten Mississippi State if Blake Shapen was healthy? You would think so. Remember, did Quinn Ewers play that game? No. Arch Manning started because Quinn Ewers was hurt. So, that's just part of it. And Texas has played a lot of games this season with a lot of guys who have been injured. But it is a little bit unfortunate that Texas may play Oklahoma without John Mateer, because that would change the dynamic of the game, just like it would if Texas had to start possibly Matthew Caldwell against Oklahoma come 2 weeks. And DJ Lagway, who knows? He was in a boot yesterday, but that could just be precautionary. Who knows? I'm sure he won't be 100% going into the Texas game, but they do get a bye week, so there's some time for Lagway and for Mateer to heal up. But we'll see. Again, John Mateer undergoing hand surgery, a broken bone in his throwing hand. Underwent surgery today. It did go successfully, according to reports, but timeline probably about a month. Now, just because Texas is not playing this weekend does not mean there's not some good college football going on. Jake, looking at these matchups this Saturday, I think the ones that stand out, I'm looking at it right now. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 games that features both opponents inside the top 25. Now, the first one, Illinois taking on USC. Illinois got boat raced by Mendoza and Indiana this past week. USC all of a sudden kind of climbing in the top 25, up to 21, 4-0. 11 a.m. kickoff, big noon kickoff, I guess, on Fox. Be Gus Johnson and Joe Klatt. Then at 2:30, LSU and Ole Miss. Now, speaking of injured quarterbacks, Austin Simmons, the freshman, will not be available. So it'll be the North Dakota State transfer, Chamblis, starting for Ole Miss on Saturday.
You're close. The Ferris State transfer.
Ferris State.
In Michigan, D2.
Won the D2 championship, I believe, a year ago. So LSU, 4-0. Garrett Nussmeier, they're pretty healthy, taking on an Ole Miss team that will be without their starting quarterback, but that'll be at the Grove, 2:30 on ABC. And then at 6:30, unfortunately, these two games both at 6:30, and probably the two games I want to watch the most. Massive showdown in Happy Valley. Number 6 Oregon, who probably has looked the best offensively this season, taking on number 3 Penn State, who was picked to win a lot of national championships, or not a lot, was picked to win the national championship by a lot of media members. 6:30 on NBC. And then Alabama in Georgia. Remember last year's game in Tuscaloosa was incredible with Jeremiah Smith making basically, well, it was Ryan Williams, sorry, that came on the scene with that sideline touchdown on the right boundary, where he kind of had he stopped, turned around, made the catch, and took off. He had a huge game. Alabama and Georgia went back and forth, and Alabama would win that game.
Yeah, if
Georgia
you remember,
would still go on to go to the college football playoff, and Alabama would be ranked number 1. They would lose the next week to Vanderbilt.
Alabama came out of the blocks, and it looked like they were going to boat race Georgia. And the Dogs fought back and lost the game on an interception late thrown by Carson Beck.
One of many. I think he threw, was it 2 or 3 picks in that game, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, and the first couple of picks were seeing ghost picks.
Yes.
In the fourth quarter, I thought Beck's receivers let him down a little bit.
Yeah, he it was a tale of two halves. The second half, he looked like a Heisman type quarterback. The reason why people thought he would be the first round pick in the draft a year ago was because of that second half at times. But that'll be a huge game, I think, more so for Alabama. Remember, they lost to Florida State to begin the season. Ty Simpson, the freshman, no, not the freshman quarterback, but the quarterback, has looked a lot better in the last couple weeks. They beat Wisconsin, who now is
Wisconsin's. You can say it. Wisconsin's terrible.
Their fans were chanting to fire Luke Fickell, the former Cincinnati coach, who is now their head coach. But for Georgia, 3-0, number 5 in the country, coming off a huge win against Tennessee, a game that they easily probably could have lost, right? If Tennessee's kicker can make that game-winning field goal in regulation. They win in overtime, but I've been impressed by how Stetson Bennett has kind of developed. He had some bad moments in that game, but also he made some big-time
throws. You say Stetson Bennett?
Gunnar Stockton.
I mean, I've been impressed by his development,
they're all the
too.
same. They're
he
all
had a
the
great
same.
preseason.
Stetson Bennett, Gunnar Stockton, Jake Fromm, they're all the same quarterback to me.
Yeah, throw Aaron Murray in there.
Yeah, I'll give Aaron Murray a little bit more love.
That's right. He deserves that.
Yeah, I think, he's up there with Matthew Stafford. But Gunnar Stockton, rather, thank you for the clarification. He looked good in that second half. Because, again, Tennessee came out. It was 21-7, right? Thinking like it's going to be a boat race. But Georgia finds a way to kind of claw back. And this time, even though they lost to Bama last year in the same fashion, this time able to win in overtime. And now a chance to improve to 4-0. I think if Georgia wins that game on Saturday, they'll get a lot of first place votes to possibly be number 1. But, we'll see how Oregon Penn State shakes out. Looking at Saturday's games, Jake, which ones are you paying attention to the most?
Well, the ones you circled, obviously, Bama, Georgia. I thought Stockton was just terrific in the second half of that Tennessee game, made some of the best throws I've seen a Georgia quarterback make since Stetson Bennett was there, and including a very gutsy 4th down conversion late in the end zone to ultimately seal up that victory. I think we'll see fireworks in that matchup. I think we'll see whether or not what we've seen from Alabama, the hyper-efficient offense and the suddenly tenacious defense, is that the Alabama we get, or do we get the team that walked into Tallahassee and just thought they were going to be handed things to start the season? The other game that you didn't mention is Ohio State at Washington. The line is only 8.5. So odds makers think that Washington has a chance to at least keep that within a 1-score contest. It's the first real road test for Julian Sayin, and it's a potentially tricky road spot if Washington can hang around in that game for a while against the number 1 team.
Yeah, Huskies 3-0, destroyed Washington State a week ago, beat Colorado State in week 1. There is a petition now in the state of Colorado for Colorado State to hire Bo Pelini as their head coach. So, I'm not sure how great things are going with the Rams so far, but yeah, that's crazy. It's only just over a touchdown for the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, and then you look at Indiana, too, going to Kinnick Stadium to take on Iowa. Can they back up the big result, or is that potentially a trap game for Kurt Cignetti and company?
Yeah, well, so far, Fernando Mendoza has been the most electric player in college football. Can he keep that up against the 3-1 Iowa Hawkeyes this Saturday? So, a lot to look forward to, even without Texas playing football. And I think it allows Texas fans to be able to sit back and enjoy Saturdays, because I don't think Texas fans have really enjoyed Saturdays this season. Even though Texas beat Sam Houston 55-0, I think there was some trepidation going in that game, wondering like, oh boy, if this team struggles against Sam Houston, we might be in trouble. But Arch Manning and the offense came out on all cylinders, and the defense pitched a shutout. Just getting started here in hour 2 of today's program. It is Ryder Cup week. Matches begin on Friday at Bethpage Black. The Americans spoke to the media yesterday. I believe the Europeans speaking to the New York press today. But to help us break down the Ryder Cup will be Jeff Shackelford, my good friend and golf author and reporter, who is covering the Ryder Cup up in Farmingdale, New York. He joins us next as the Craig Way Show continues on a Yacht Rock Wednesday.
Listen to Coach Sark's weekly press conference live every Monday at 11 a.m.
We got to go enjoy this journey. We need to be present and then ultimately finish the mission.
Hear Coach Sark recap the prior week's games and get you ready for the Horns' next opponent.
Culture beats talent. Culture's really strong. Culture and talent together is a pretty powerful force, and that's something that we've tried to create.
Every question, every answer, every Monday, right here on your home for the Longhorns. 1300 The Zone.
The biggest headliners in live music shared this stage.
At our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Jelly Roll! Hi, this is Ed Sheeran.
Hi there, this is Brian Adams.
Make some noise for Tate McRae.
Hey, I'm Sammy Hagar.
Hey, this is Doodles from The Offspring.
We are Maroon 5. Good evening. Hey, this is John Fogerty.
This your girl, Glorilla.
The iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Get ready to relive the once-in-a-lifetime moments, starting October 2nd, only on Hulu.
Looking for chef-inspired comfort food with a side of history? Come to the Lee Kitchen and Tavern, where scratch-made American classics meet a 1920s Prohibition vibe. Austin owned and operated with 4 locations in Avery Ranch, BK, Belterra, and Lakeway. This month, try their Philly cheesesteak, their fried catfish, or their chicken schnitzel, and pair it with the Honeydeuce, their cocktail of the month. Catch the game at the bar, soak in the vibe, and don't miss happy hour weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. It's the League Kitchen and Tavern. Comfort food reimagined.
iHeart presents
The police coming straight from the underground.
Ice Cube, bringing truth to power.
You know how we do. Featuring 4 decades of attitude. A musical production like he's never done before. Taking the stage at Moody Center, October 16th. Ice Cube, Truth to Power Tour. 4 decades of attitude. Homies got shot. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Ever wanted to try an Olympic and Paralympic sport? Try fencing. It's fast, safe, and easy to start. Find a beginner class near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing. That's usafencing.org/tryfencing.
High quality meat, unbeatable freshness, and a family style commitment to care. That's the Heartland difference. Heartland Steak Co. is your go-to source for premium Midwest meats delivered straight to your door, including our hand-cut selection of USDA prime and choice beef, always flash frozen for peak freshness. Go to heartlandsteakco.com. Use code FOOTBALL25 and get 2 ribeyes with a purchase of $150 or more. Heartland Steak Co., your one-stop shop for straight-to-your-door Midwest meat. Taste the Heartland difference at heartlandsteakco.com.
This isn't just a game, it's a once-in-a-generation event. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Come be part of a legacy that never stops. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Get your tickets today at harlemglobetrotters.com.
You work hard to provide for yourself and your family, and that's why identity theft is so scary. Not only does it pose a threat to your financial well-being, everything you've worked so hard for, but it's also a danger to your family. Even children can be victims. It's not their money thieves go after, obviously, but their social security number. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Act now and save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
With great deals coming this Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th, greatness is a deal away. So if you love baking, you can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye! Make way for the baron of brioche, the sultan of sourdough, the lord of the loaves, Prime Member Dave!
Yeah,
high?
Get up to 40% off with Prime Big Deal Days October 7th and 8th.
iHeartRadio Did You Know? Presented by iHeartRadio. You know, what you're listening to right now. Did you know that iHeartRadio gets better the more you tell us what you like? Every time you thumb up or thumb down a song, follow a station, podcast, or playlist, we pay attention and change the app just to suit your taste. That's right. No two iHeartRadio apps are exactly the same. And the more you thumb up and down music, the better job we do of helping you discover the next song, playlist, or station you'll fall in love with. Follow those podcasts you listen to the most, we'll notice, and we'll make sure to recommend new binge-worthy podcasts just right for you. iHeartRadio is built to get better and better the better we get to know you. So make sure you share with us what you like by thumbing and following. And as you listen, we'll make sure there's unlimited great listening moments coming your way. And of course, it's all free. iHeartRadio, #1 for music, radio, and podcasting, all in one app.
iHeartRadio.
Coach Sark here. Back to the Craig Way Show on your home for the Longhorns, 1300 The Zone.
Men sailed up from San Francisco Bay, rolled off of their ship, and here's what they had to say. We're calling everyone to ride along to another shore, where we can laugh our lives away and be free once more. No one heard them calling, no one came at all, 'cause they were too busy watching those old raindrops fall. And as the storm was blowing out on the full sea, 73 men set off history.
Ride, Captain, Ride. On a Yacht Rock Wednesday by Blues Image, one-hit wonder from the 70s. Maybe Team USA will be telling Keegan Bradley, Ride, Captain, Ride this week at the Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black. And we continue our 2025 Ryder Cup preview, now visiting with golf reporter and author Jeff Shackelford from jeffshackelford.com. Of course, you can read his work with the Quadrilateral newsletter and listen to him on the McKellar podcast. Greeting us from Bethpage, New York. Good afternoon, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Cameron. It's great to talk to you again, and we're all very excited about the big matches coming up.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule. How many Ryder Cups have you covered up until this point? What number is this for you?
Just my fifth.
Just your fifth.
My fifth. I did Rome. I did Rome from home. I went to Rome a few weeks before the matches, saw the course, ate a lot of great food, I did a lot of great sightseeing, and then I watched it from home, and I was very happy I did that. I got the best of both worlds. I saw all the golf I needed a little early in the morning on the West Coast, but and Rome is an amazing, amazing city that I would have been very unhappy if I didn't enjoy properly.
So you started covering after the miracle at Medina. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. We'll come back to that, and we'll come back to your coverage as well, because I want to get a story or a little nugget from your Ryder Cup experience covering it as a media member. But the last 5 Ryder Cups, the margin of victory has been 5 points, 10 points, 7 points, 6 points, and 5 points since that miracle at Medina. Heading into 2025 this week, Bethpage Black, do you think we're headed towards a similar result with the Americans running away with it this week?
You know, I don't, but it's been really strange how we've had some of these blowouts. But I just don't feel like this one's going to be that. There's just too much. There are too many good players in form on both sides, And I think the Europeans are, I would say, a little deeper and more experienced and bonded and all that stuff, which does, I think, help them on enemy soil, and why I don't think they will be blown out like they were at Whistling Straits, which was just it just wasn't close. And they also didn't. There's a few people who weren't playing so great, and Padraig Harrington was dealt a rough hand at that one. And so I really am. It's not just wishful thinking. I really do think we'll have a close one.
You mentioned Whistling Straits. That was a mega blowout for the Americans, and kind of felt like maybe not a turning point, but maybe a period of transition for the European team. A lot of younger players on that squad, and now they have developed, and coming into this year. I mean, Ludwig Oberg wasn't even on the team yet, and he's turning into a fantastic golfer, of course, from Texas Tech, going to be a key player on this team. You mentioned Rory McIlroy as well, but on the American side, of course, Scotty Scheffler just won this past week. Ben Griffin finishing second. It feels like we're entering the Ryder Cup with almost both teams kind of peaking at the right time.
Yeah, which is a big change. The Americans tend to flame out after the Tour Championship. Understandably, they've played a lot of golf in hot weather. It's been a long year, and they shut it down. And there's only so long you can stay focused. And this time they all turned up except Xander Schauffele and Bryson DeChambeau, who's not eligible at the Napa event. And everybody made the cut. And as you noted, a few guys played really well. So they also just seemed like they're getting along well. They had some stuff off the course. Keegan Bradley was there watching the golf, not playing. We've had some captains in the past who are supposedly monitoring their players, and they're playing in a tournament. Like, really? So it's little stuff like that. I feel like Keegan's really turned out to be very disappointingly good at this. We love some of this American drama. It adds to the fun, and he seems like he's balancing kind of gut instincts, common sense with some of the analytics, which are, I think, severely overrated, but in the context of match play and Ryder Cup. So he is so far so good in terms of just having everybody on the same page. And I think the only downside is that he's not in these matches, and he's somebody it's not fun to play against in match play. He just is very fiery and persistent and emotional, and he's a great match play golfer. Should have been picked for the last matches. So I think that's the only downside so far of his captaincy, is that he's actually not going to be hitting shots.
And it's been a very interesting captaincy, of course, Jeff, because he was shocked when he was chosen after missing the Ryder Cup team in 2023. If you have watched Full Swing, you have seen the episode about Keegan getting the phone call from Captain Zach Johnson and all of that. And leading up to the Ryder Cup, it felt like all of the conversation on the American side of the Ryder Cup was about their captain, which is pretty unique, right? Usually it's about the players, but for the American side, it was Keegan Bradley. And I'm hearing some theories now that maybe it's possibly strategic on Keegan's behalf to keep all the focus on him and not on the team, and how Bryson's going to mesh with Cam Young or the Live PGA Tour thing. How, you kind of mentioned a little bit, how do you think Keegan's done so far handling this captaincy? Because there's a strong case that he could be playing in the Ryder Cup this year.
Yeah, no, I believe he's really handled it way better than anybody could have imagined. And that's not it's just a tough job. There's strange dynamics in play. Certainly last time in Rome, Zach Johnson was dealt a ridiculous hand with a couple of guys whining and moaning about pay and not coming on the team trip. And, there's just only so much a captain can do when you're dealing with some of these kind of egomaniacal situations. It turned out that they channeled some of that pretty well onto the course. Some of it got a little bit ugly, but it didn't necessarily affect the golf of the people who were wanting to be paid. Well, now this time they're being paid. And I guess the good news for Keegan is, there really hasn't been a whole lot of focus on the fact that the U.S. is being paid and the Europeans are not. And we'll just, the thing I'm most anxious to see is what happens when these Bethpage fans are watching the U.S. guys maybe losing, especially the people who wanted money, and how will they treat them? Will they treat them like fellow Americans, or will they heckle them and turn on them a little bit? I think it's a possibility, and it's something that it's going to make it fascinating to watch, as if it wasn't already interesting enough with just great quality match play on a super golf course.
Playing at Bethpage Black, course, a very familiar golf course, has hosted 2 PGAs, a U.S. Open, but first time hosting the Ryder Cup. What are your impressions of how the course possibly will look and be set up by Keegan Bradley and the Americans this week?
Well, it's basically comes down to fairway width. The Europeans now like to have narrower fairways and high rough. They feel they have analytics that favor them on that front, and that has worked in France and Rome. The U.S. wants a little wider fairway. They believe their guys hitting driver and not hacking out a rough is a good thing. So that's the setup at Bethpage. It's going to be a little different than it has been for the other majors, but it's still a long, tough golf course with pretty simple greens. Really, that's the one thing I think that'll be a factor that I have no idea how it will impact play, but it's something we're going to be watching. It just doesn't have a lot of crazy long putts with huge break, and I honestly don't know who that favors. But generally, I would say that's probably good for the U.S. side. So yeah, they're gonna set it up a certain way, but the PGA of America handles it. I don't know how. I don't get a sense that Keegan's really gotten that in the weeds on it. Again, not trying to overthink it too much, which I think is why he's done a good job to date.
Looking at the 2019 PGA, the out of the top 5, 4 the top 5 finishers were Americans, including Patrick Cantley. Matt Wallace, the only one not from America in the top 5. So it did seem to favor American golfers. Of course, that was 6 years ago. And hey, 3 of the top 4 players, Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, not on the American Ryder Cup team. I think it's a little bit surprising. Maybe not so much about DJ, but for the Americans not to have Brooks Koepka or Jordan Spieth this year. We'll see how it shakes up.
Yeah, neither one of them really gave the captain any reason to pick them, and and I think they both acknowledge that. I'm a little surprised Jordan Spieth isn't there as a vice captain, just because he's been such a big part of this. Well, and he picked he was on the committee that picked Keegan Bradley, but yeah. So, but no, they just needed to play better, and they didn't. And I'm more bullish on Spieth having a resurgence than I am Brooks. I just we'll see what happens when his contract's up with Liv, but I think it's just taken an edge off his game, being on playing 54-hole events on not the best golf courses in the world.
Previewing the Ryder Cup with Jeff Shackelford. Okay, there's a couple theories, notions about this Ryder Cup and the Ryder Cup history, and I want to get your thoughts on them. One is that the Americans play for themselves, play for pride, pay for money, of course. Now a big deal, and the Europeans they play for their country and they play for each other. Is that the vibe that you get when you've covered the Ryder Cups and you've been around it in this season, or is it just good fodder for when the Americans get blown out on the road every time?
Oh no, there's no question that the U.S. guys seem to struggle more with a team environment, and it makes sense. It's an individual sport. It's part of what we love about the Ryder Cup, that they're taken out of their normal element and placed in this situation, and the Europeans seem to handle it better. Of course, everybody's theorized, is it because they play a few more team events, when they're younger, national teams, foursomes. I think there's some of that. I think that, they really don't play the European tour and bond as a group anymore. That used to be part of it, but a lot of the European guys are full-fledged Americans essentially now. So, but they do seem to get on the same page when it comes to the Ryder Cup. They certainly did in Rome, and the U.S. certainly did not. And the captain takes a lot of blame for that. And I don't know if it's always if that's fair, because you're just dealing with some big personalities who aren't used to that situation and they don't adjust well for whatever reason. Maybe they didn't play a Walker Cup, or they didn't play a Junior Ryder Cup or something. They just didn't get it. Or maybe there's just so much pressure that they don't know what else to do, because it is a high pressure situation. Golf's tough. And then when you're feeling a burden to help your partner out, and you're not used to that, it can make you do strange things. So it feels like this American team is on the same page much more, which will be helpful. And but the Europeans seem to have they have everybody back except Nikolai Hogard, and it's his brother in his place. So they seem to be getting along well, and had a great pre-Ryder Cup trip to Bethpage. All the stuff you kind of look for. There's no drama there right now.
Talking with Jeff Shackelford live from Bethpage Black. We'll continue this conversation next hour as the Way Show rolls on a Yacht Rock Wednesday.
Don't you agree that it's a wonderful thing to save a dog's life? I certainly do, and I invite you to go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a $15 a month donation right now. Do it now, and Thomas J. Henry will generously match all charitable donations made this month online at puppyfoodbank.org. It's your chance to help save thousands of pets in our community, so please give a little to help save little guys like you. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org right now, and they'll send you a very nice gift.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $500,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet will always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
We're live at Specs, where elite snack strategies are unfolding. This shopper just dove headfirst into the cheese section, barreling through the brie like he's got something to prove. Now he's eyeing that top shelf tequila. Does he have it? He does! Unbelievable! Specs selection, flawless. Specs savings, unstoppable. He's loading the cart like a man possessed, and it all started at Specs. Cheers to savings.
Still spending on search ads hoping to capture new customers? The truth is, search reaches people who already know your brand and is rapidly being replaced by AI. If you want real growth, you need to get in front of new customers on streaming TV, where attention is high on their favorite programming. Viant has proven technology to reach the right customers on the best programming, delivering real outcomes. Want better results? Visit ViantCTV.com today. That's ViantCTV.com.
Hey, Texas football fans, Mike Harge here, and we're in for an exciting season. Thomas J. Henry Law is thrilled to be part of the action with Texas football game broadcasts. The athletes give it their all on the field, and Thomas J. Henry and over 250 attorneys give it their all when it comes to helping you and your family get the justice you deserve. Whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, dedication, strategy, and teamwork are crucial. For over 30 years, Thomas J. Henry Law has been committed to securing meaningful results for injured people and their families. After all, their law firm will be nothing without the communities and the individuals they serve. Visit tjhlaw.com to find out more. If you or a loved one have been injured, their attorneys are available 24/7 to help. They have a reputation and resources to handle any case. Free consultations with no fees collected unless they win for you. Let's get into the Texas football action this season, sponsored by Thomas J. Henry Law. On and off the field, it's all about the win.
It's hot, it's humid, it's Texas. You know we're in for a long, hot summer. Nolan Ryan for American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat back the hot Texas sun once and for all with the cool, clean home comfort of American Standard. Consumer testing says American Standard is one of the best, but your family comfort means the most. It's that important, and it's what we do in Texas. Stay cool this summer. Peace of mind is everything in this business. Comfort the way you like it. AmericanStandardAir.com.
Make parking the easiest part of your night with ParkWiz. Reserve ahead and roll right in so you can enjoy the show, the game, or a night out without circling for parking. Save up to 50% off a secured space and skip the stress. Smarter parking starts here. Download the ParkWiz app today.
AM 1300 The Zone occasionally holds contests. For more information about contests on this station, go to am1300thezone.com/rules.
Go get it. The new season of the NFL lives on iHeartRadio.
It's blocked! It's scooped up by Will McDonald! That's a jet touchdown!
Local stations bring you the action live.
Touchdown Tampa Bay!
Plus, fantasy advice and expert analysis with the official NFL Podcast Network.
A strip sack! A walk recovery!
Everything you love about football is on the iHeartRadio app.
Throws to the end zone. Caught, needed, touchdown! Chargers!
Search NFL to dive in.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 original stations waiting for you to explore right now, like 24/7 comedy.
Men don't settle there. We surrender.
Women, we never express the emotions we're actually feeling, right? I'm fine means I'm about to stab you in the neck.
Clips from today's top comedians and the greatest of all time.
Donut hole. If you want a donut, have a donut. Why are you eating the hole?
When you need a laugh, just open the free iHeartRadio app and search comedy.
You can actually change the station.
iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Texas football plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
No, we didn't forget about it. We were not going to skip Inconceivable, just like we would not skip a Yacht Rock Wednesday. I had to push it back because we had the third and Longhorn game in, but we got to it. And we'll start with Bill Belichick. Because he's now on the cover, not Sports Illustrated. No, it's not a sports-adjacent publication. He's on the cover of Us Weekly. His girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. Bill Belichick. This is coming from Brett McMurphy. Bill Belichick, possibly the greatest coach of all time, becomes the first ever coach featured on the cover of Us Weekly a week after UNC lost to Central Florida. On the cover, he's looking good. He's in he's got a little maroon jacket on, the NFL 100 patch on. He has his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, who's a little bit of a revealing dress. I think, if you saw a girl wearing this, you would think she's going out in the strip in Las Vegas. No, it's just Bill Belichick's girlfriend. UNC, by the way, 2-2 so far this season. But the Us Weekly article goes in depth on the relationship between Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson, a lengthy profile that is available at usmagazine.com. Jake Herman's been reading it throughout the show. An exclusive. Who is the real Jordan Hudson? Yeah, I don't think I care enough, Jake. I really don't. There's some things, right? You know how you don't want to meet your idols and stuff, or maybe your favorite artist or a favorite movie gets remade, or they drop a new album, right? And it's not the same. I don't want to take away from the lore of Bill Belichick, especially not with his love life.
I wouldn't advise you watching UNC football the rest of the year if that's the way you feel about it.
I'll give him a year. He's rebuilding a program. It'll take some time.
Different era though, Cam. You got to rebuild faster than this. They are terrible.
They are, but Colorado was pretty bad. I'm giving him 3 years. Now, will he stay at UNC for 3 years? That remains to be seen.
Jordan Hudson will be 28 by the time 3 years goes by.
Yeah, he may be done with college by then. Sister Jean retiring at 106.
Wait, she was still working?
Yeah.
Working as, I guess, as the chaplain?
I don't know.
So does this go back to, is she retiring from being a fan though?
I don't think so. I think she's just retiring from her position with the university.
Does this go back to her getting left hanging by the team right before their conference tournament a couple years ago?
Here's my hot take. College basketball is better without Sister Jean. That's all I say.
Are you serious?
That's my hot take.
How quickly you forget.
I am out on Sister Jean. I've been out on Sister Jean.
You're the only one. You're out on Sister
That's
Jean
fine.
Island.
That's fine. But I've been out, and I'm not too sad about her
I
retirement.
still hear her name in Spiro Ditas' voice all the time.
I do
Sister
too.
Jean.
But it's better without it. Okay, that's our
That's
sports
ridiculous.
talk. Here's something that might also be ridiculous. Neighbors are threatening to sue an airport for disrupting their peace and quiet. You can guess what part of the country this is in. Maybe you won't be shocked to find out. Monterey, California. Maybe could be one of the richest areas in the country. Is threatening to sue the Monterey Regional Airport due to increased noise from aircrafts. The airport, once a quiet facility, now experiences over 160 aircraft movements daily, causing frustration among locals. The Monterey Fly Safe Coalition, a neighborhood group, has formed in response to the noise, citing 3-decade-old ordinances that limit airport operations.
Hold on. The Monterey Fly Safe. Those are the first 3 letters.
MFSC.
I hope they don't use an acronym.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Oh.
Nancy Runyon, a resident and member of the coalition, expressed her concerns to SF Gate, saying a few planes, no big deal, but constant noise is driving people crazy.
Yeah, you know what else is loud? Pickleball.
Yeah, that's true. The clack of the pickleball on the concrete.
I bet they don't mind that noise.
I wonder how much of this is due to Jim Nantz flying in and out.
Hello,
He
friends.
catches games. We'll see about when anything comes of that. All right. Oldest mummy in the world has been found in a surprising location. Now, when I think of mummies, I'm thinking Egypt, right? Any guess on where this 10,000-year-old mummy has been found? It's not Egypt. It's not Egypt.
I'm going to go with like Canada.
I like it. How about China and Southeast Asia?
Okay, not a shock.
According to a new study, human remains found in tightly crouched positions at a pre-Neolithic burial site in China and Southeast Asia appear to have been smoke-dried over fire. This method of preservation predates the Egyptian mummies by several millennia.
See, I thought it would have been frozen in something. That's why I went Canada.
Okay, yeah, like an ice age maybe. They don't know what thawed out, right? So it's hard to know.
I don't know if they were mummifying remains over there.
This smoke drying technique used to preserve the bodies, allowing them to remain intact for thousands of years, challenges the long-held belief that mummification originated in Egypt. Also suggests the diversity of early human societies and their approaches to dealing with death and the afterlife. There you go. The oldest mummy found, not in Egypt, but in Southeast Asia and in China.
Not at Loyola Chicago.
Not Loyola Chicago. Not Sister Jean. Although she probably was around when the pyramids were built. This one is for Craig Way. I know Craig's a big Costco guy. His wife Linda's a big Costco guy. Do you have a Costco card?
No, I don't. I should.
Yeah.
But I live alone. I'm not gonna. I don't have room for all that.
Yeah. Not yet. Well, this massive dessert is returning to Costco at an even better price. The Kirkland Signature Pumpkin Pie is coming back, y'all, which weighs 58 ounces, about 3 pounds, and can be purchased for just $5.99. The Signature Pumpkin Pie follows a similar set price rule to the popular $1.50 soda and hot dog combo offered by the big box warehouse club retailer. It's been posted on there's an account called Costco New Deals. Can you imagine running that? That's your life. Anyways, it's back for $6. So, holiday season's coming around. You a big pumpkin pie guy?
I quite enjoy a pumpkin pie. I think I put it above a lot of fruit pies.
Okay. Well, hey, you get a Costco card, Jake. $5.99. That is your inconceivable. If you're at HEB and you see the Us Weekly article with Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson, check it out. Text in your thoughts on it. I'm really curious about their love life. I'm not. I hate seeing the goat go down like this. Midlife, is it midlife crisis, or what do you call this when you're past the age of? Because he's what, 68, 70? What is this called?
Because he's at UNC, I'll call it an UNC.
There you go.
Crisis.
That will end Inconceivable for us. We'll be back to wrap up hour 2 after this.
Coach Sark here. Stay connected to the Longhorns on the free iHeartRadio app.
Breaks a tackle 30, turns down the sidelines. Say goodnight to this one. Touchdown, Texas.
Just search 1300 The Zone. Hook 'em.
Harge here. Friday nights in Texas mean football, family, and tradition. At Cover Ford Hutto, we've got trucks that are built for it. Right now, take $8,250 off MSRP on a new 2025 Ford F-150 STX and $10,046,000 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Ford F-250s, excluding XL, XLT, and STX trim levels. See dealer for details. Friday night lights, family, Ford. That's Cover Ford and Hutto, right off of 79 in Hutto or online at coverfordhutto.com.
Football season is in full swing, and there's no better place to get in on the action than Bet Online, your number one source for all things football. Bet Online has all the latest odds, breaking news, live scores, and even in-game betting, so you'll never miss a moment. From every pro to college football matchup to baseball, cage fighting, and hockey futures, Bet Online keeps you locked into the action all year long. Head to Bet Online today, because at Bet Online, the game starts here.
iHeart presents
The police coming straight from the underground.
Ice Cube, bringing truth to power.
In my era, then a natural born killer.
You know how we do. Featuring 4 decades of attitude, a musical production like he's never done before. Taking the stage at Moody Center, October 16th. Ice Cube, Truth to Power Tour. 4 decades of attitude.
Before hip-hop, homies got shot.
Get tickets now at livenation.com.
And Doug. Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu.
Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say.
That may have been too much feeling.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
This isn't just a game. It's a once-in-a-generation event. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Celebrate 100 years of high-flying dunks, 100 years of show-stopping moves, and 100 years of changing the game. Bring the whole family and be part of a legacy that never stops. The Harlem Globetrotters 100-year tour. Get your tickets today at harlemglobetrotters.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya guselkumab may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Your adventure starts at the Central Texas RV Super Sale, October 3rd through 5th at Dell Diamond in Round Rock. Shop the latest RVs from 8 top dealers. That's the most dealers ever, plus free admission and parking. More info at centexrvsupersale.com. That's centexrvsupersale.com.
Texas weather can be wild. Protect your home with residential metal roofing from Mueller Inc. Strong, stylish, and designed to last, our metal roofs handle wind, hail, and heat with minimal maintenance. With a range of colors and styles, you'll get lasting beauty and proven durability, all backed by paint warranties up to 45 years. Visit with one of our sales representatives today at any of our locations across Texas, including Marble Falls and Spicewood.
Find your iHeartRadio everywhere. There are hundreds of ways to experience iHeartRadio at home and on the go, beyond the iPhone and Android app and at iHeartRadio.com. Here's another way to connect to iHeartRadio. Just ask Google Assistant for your favorite radio stations, and iHeartRadio will be there for you on your Google Home, Google Mini Nest Hub, Nest Mini, Android TV, and any device that uses your Google Assistant. Ah, the convenience of playing all your favorites hands-free. Just say, okay, Google, play to get your favorite AM/FM stations from iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio, everywhere you want to listen, including in your home and office through your Google Home, Google Nest Hub Mini, Nest Mini, Android TV, and any device that is Google Assistant powered. Check it out for free now. iHeartRadio, anywhere you want to listen, iHeartRadio is there.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns.
Wrapping up hour 2 of today's program. If you missed any of the shows so far today, check it out on the iHeart app, the free iHeart Radio app, and wherever you get your podcast. We had Nick Shuley and Mark Higgins from Third and Longhorn stop by in the first hour, got their thoughts on the first half. So I keep saying first half. It's not really first half. I would say it's kind of a 3-part regular season for Texas football. Week 1, all the way up to the bye week, the non-conference slate. I would say part 2 is probably from Florida up until, is the open week after Georgia or is it before? I think it's before Georgia. So part 2, I would say from Florida through Vanderbilt.
Yeah, before Georgia. That's right.
And then part 3, Georgia, Arkansas, A&M. And then I think part 4 is probably the postseason, if you want to go that way. So we're through part 1 of the 2025 season. Anyways, at least the non-conference slate. Got Nick and Mark's superlatives. So offensive MVP, defensive MVP, newcomer of the year. Also got favorite moment of the year. I don't know if we have all time to ask you all 4 of those questions, Jake Herman, but offensive MVP, who would be your guy?
I'm going with Parker Livingston, just what he provided down the stretch of that Ohio State game. But it's hard to argue against it being Arch Manning, just based on the stats that he's put forth and the way that when they have had red zone success, it's surrounded the plays that he's been able to make, particularly with his legs at times. But I think it's Livingston narrowly for me.
It's a tough one because he almost would have one for every game.
Right. It's different every game.
I mean, I think
Arch Manning is not the MVP of the UTEP
If you
game.
added it up like a boxing match, I think Ohio State, the MVP probably would have been Livingston because he had the big catch.
That's why I gave it to him.
Game 2 against San Jose State, you could argue Arch or Parker Livingston. Against UTEP, maybe James Simon. I don't know. Sam Houston, definitely Arch Manning. So I would almost kind of go in between maybe Livingston as well as Arch Manning. Defensive MVP?
It's your pick. I think Grayson Littleton's really jumped out. I mean, he jumps off the screen with some of the plays that he's been able to make. I like his versatility. I like his intensity.
He's been outstanding. Leon Lafau. Michael Tapp has not gotten a lot of recognition, as has Manny Muhammad, but don't let that fool you.
It's a compliment.
They've been playing at first team all SEC level as well. 2 hours into today's program, we got one more hour to go. We're going to continue the preview of the Ryder Cup with Jeff Shackelford, from who's actually at that page right now. Going to hear from Texas baseball head coach Jim Slaughter. It's never too early to talk Texas baseball. They're actually playing baseball on Saturday, and you can watch it. We'll tell you how. Up next, the final hour of the Craig Way Show.
Hey, it's JB and Sandy. You know, we like to tell you guys about people and places that we do business with because we know they're going to treat you well. And we can certainly say that about our friends Scott and Stacy Feller at Koala Cooling. If you don't have a good relationship with an AC company, make this relationship. Get in touch with our friends at Koala Cooling at koalacooling.com or call them at 512-759-8800.
I know a lot of you are new to Texas, so take it from some longtime Texans and some native Texans on this show. You need a maintenance plan, a regular scheduled service, and you can do that with Koala Cooling for just $27 a month, and you'll just stay on top of it. before you have a disaster, before you're caught without AC with triple digits.
It's great because they'll call and say, hey, it's time for your checkup. We'll send someone out there. Are you available tomorrow? And that way you know that your system is working well. Reach out to our friends at Koala Cooling. They are qualified.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
Guilty, erroneous, sustained.
Are you just saying random words?
Don't settle for just any insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All right, the guys are at the game, so it's shopping time.
Ugh, I hate them all.
I mean JTV.
Jewelry television? I'm obsessed with their jewelry. Have you seen their artisan collections?
And the color gemstone jewelry, they have gemstones I've never seen anywhere else. Plus, they even have gifts for men.
Right now, new customers receive 25% off their first purchase of $50 or more when they visit jtv.com/radio.
Did you know they have more than 90,000 products?
Maybe the game will go into overtime.
Progressive knows not all rides are smooth. Meet Peter. He loves his motorcycle. What he doesn't love is wind. Which is ironic, because wind is a big part of the whole wind-in-your-face motorcycle cliche. But nobody ever tells you how relentless a strong crosswind is, or the cliche wouldn't exist. Not every ride is smooth, but Progressive has your back. Get a quote to see if you can save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
This is Jim. Hello. Jim started advertising with iHeartRadio way back in April. And now,
I have customers out the door.
And this is Sarah.
Hi.
She started putting a portion of her marketing dollars in podcasting back in June.
Business is booming. That's why I'm working on a Saturday.
September is a great time for you to start advertising because iHeart is running a special this month only for businesses that are new to radio or podcasts. To learn more, call 844-844-iHeart or visit iHeartAdvertising.com.
Fall is the perfect time to transform your home or business with fresh new color. The team at CertaPro Painters of Greater Austin handles every detail worry-free from start to finish. CertaPro Painters is the painting service you can rely on here in Austin, whether painting inside or out. Go with the pros at CertaPro Painters of Austin. That's Certa with a C. Right now through October, get $250 off any project over $2,500. Call and schedule your free estimate today.
Only one app puts the live radio dial in your pocket
And lets you save your favorite stations, playlists, and podcasts as presets.
iHeartRadio is your all-access pass to the audio that moves you.
Get what millions already have. The free iHeartRadio app.
The #1 app for radio.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
From the Audio Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app. It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster, Craig Way.
Final hour of today's program here on the Craig Way Show. I'm Cameron Parker alongside Jake Herman, helping you get over this hump day on this Wednesday afternoon. Craig Way out for the rest of the week. He'll be back Monday as our coverage will begin with Steve Sarkisian's Monday press conference as Texas takes on Florida. Open week for the Longhorns as they get a good week off and then get ready for a big stretch of football. 5 straight games beginning on the road in Gainesville. Then they'll be the home team, but away from DKR at the Cotton Bowl, taking on Oklahoma, who may not have starting quarterback John Mateer. Underwent surgery today. Then back on the road at Kentucky, then at Mississippi State, who has looked pretty good, and then home for Vanderbilt. Bye week there, and then a tough 3-week stretch, including at Georgia, then home from Arkansas and A&M to close out the regular season. Where this team will be, we're not sure. But I'll tell you what, through the ups and downs Texas is doing a lot better than Oklahoma State. And Steve Sarkisian doing a lot better than Mike Gundy, who yesterday, I believe it was announced during this program yesterday that Mike Gundy.
Yeah, we covered it for a few minutes, and the day before. Yeah, I'll let you drop the news. Mike Gundy is gone.
Yeah, well, so they lose to Tulsa on Friday night in a game that Tulsa for the entire game looked like the better team, and they kicked like 7 field goals. If they could have scored just 2 touchdowns, the game would have been a blowout.
Look like the better team. They are.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. And so Gundy, I think he was asked about, stepping down or moving on. And he said, I'm 100% going to be the head coach here. Well, what's that freezing cold takes? Less than 24 hours later, athletic director Chad Weiberg made a decision to fire Mike Gundy amidst the 1-2 start, saying, quote, "It's the best interest of moving the program forward in the long term," end quote. Gundy, I would probably say, in terms of current college football coaches who are still coaching, right? Is he the most popular? Now, Belichick coming in kind of changes that, but is he really a college football coach? I would say no. So let's move Belichick away from the equation. Mike Gundy might be the most popular coach, right? Lane Kiffin. I don't know if Kirby Smart is there. I mean, he's probably the best. He might be the best coach in college football, but in terms of the lore, the aura, if you want to say that, I don't think there's Dabo with his coach, but Mike Gundy's gone. All of a sudden, you kind of lose a big figure in college football, love him or hate him. He was the second longest tenured coach in the FBS before his firing, his 21st season behind Kirk Ferentz, Iowa's coach. Has been there since 1999 somehow. Gundy is the all-time winningest coach in Oklahoma State program history, and it's by triple digits. I don't think anyone will ever eclipse that, but it's a program that at one point against Tulsa had failed to score a touchdown since 2024. Did they ever score a touchdown in that game on Friday night? I don't think they did. They might have done it in the second half, but at a certain point, they had not scored a touchdown against an FBS opponent since December of, I believe, 2024.
They did score a touchdown.
Yeah, so it's snapped the streak, and not a good streak, a bad streak. They lost to Oregon 69-3, went 3-9 last year, not winning a single game in Big 12 play, and they started out 3-0. I believe they were ranked before they lost their first Big 12 game. All in all, Gundy lost his last 11 of his last 12 games, and kind of symbolizes how college football has changed, right? I think we think of in terms of coaches who have not adapted to NIL and the transfer portal and the shifting landscape of college football. Mike Gundy did not adjust. I mean, Jake, they were playing for the Big 12 championship against Texas 2 years ago.
Look, I think at that time with Texas and Oklahoma leaving the conference, and Tim Brando pointed this out. I know Texas fans love Tim Brando, but he pointed out a lot of people at that time thought, well, that's the team that's likeliest to take over the conference, right? That's your heir apparent, whether it was going to be Gundy at OK State or Matt Campbell at Iowa State. And man, are those two programs in opposite places right now.
It's kind of an indictment of where college football is at. And honestly, I think a lot of Texas fans, did not like Mike Gundy, did not like Oklahoma State. But it's kind of sad because you lose a prominent figure. And I don't mean in terms of who he is as a human being. And I've heard he's been nice to certain people. I've heard he's been a complete you-know-what to other people. But
come after me.
Love him or hate him, he's a polarizing head coach.
Right.
And that makes the sport better, right? You like having the villain in any sport. It makes enjoying it so much more better, especially when it's a head coach, because they're going to be there every year. And Mike Gundy's press conferences were always something to behold, right? Obviously, there's, I'm a man, I'm 40, and everything following that. He's been good for the sport. And I think Dabo possibly is, right behind him. And, Dabo's a coach that, Mike Gundy never won a national championship. Dabo won 2. He took down Nick Saban at the top of Alabama's prime, right? When they were at the mountaintop.
He made Trevor Lawrence look like a slam dunk NFL prospect.
Yeah. What he did with Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins to Trevor Lawrence, Hunter Renfrow,
T. Higgins.
Last season, getting them back to the college football playoff, although, you could argue the ACC wasn't as strong, especially looking at what's happened at the conference, this season compared to what it was last season. But it's sad because we're seeing these coaches, and it's their fault. Mike Gundy's fault. He had a season and a half to get on the NIL transfer portal boat, and he refused to do so. We hear Sark talk about it all the time. Adapt or die. The dinosaurs failed to adapt, and we're seeing some of these coaches who are still kind of in their prehistoric era of college football coaching, where they think, they're going to be naive to the fact, be proud, stubborn, prideful, whatever you want to call it. But Mike Gundy's kind of been in that situation where, hey, these coaches will change. I'm not going to change. But what's happened is Mike Gundy somehow is not coaching a college football program in 2025. And for a moment, remember, he was interviewing I believe he interviewed for Penn State when they hired James Franklin. There was a chance Mike Gundy could be coaching in the Big Ten or even the SEC, but here we are with him refusing to adapt. And, I wonder, Jake, if Dabo Swinney the next head coach to follow suit?
Well, like Dabo said, Clemson could move on without him, but he's not just going to go sit on the beach, right? He wants to coach. Dabo Swinney, I think, still has that fire and has the ability to impact and change a program if it's the right setting and the right context. But in the current climate of college football, you can't run a program like he is now and expect maybe a different result to what Clemson's getting. The Clemson story to me is shocking, but to see Oklahoma State come out after a bye week. You come out after a bye week, barely got 100 yards in the first half against Tulsa. It's shocking to me how far they fell from a football perspective. And to be, Mike Gundy, he wore it. He said, yeah, we lost this game in large part because I was out coached. So you have to respect at least the accountability there. I think Dabo Swinney still has a little bit of denial going on.
Clemson's 1-3, 0-2 in conference play. Cade Klubnik has not looked like the Heisman contender that we thought he was. And, of course, Antonio Randall's been out for most of the season so far after getting nicked up against LSU.
Yeah, they're supposed to have...
still, that does not excuse how bad their offense has looked. And a lot of people picked Clemson to win it all this season. And I don't think Clemson would fire Dabo halfway through the season like Oklahoma State did. I mean, because I don't know if Oklahoma State is going to win another game this season if Mike Gundy remained the head coach. He's not changing. Clemson, they should be good enough to win a couple conference games. But, I mean, 0-2 in conference play, I don't see how they make it to the ACC championship. I don't see how they make it to the college football playoff. And with how top-heavy this Clemson team was, I'm not sure if they'll ever get back there again, at least not in the short term.
I mean, they're supposed to have first-round talents all over the field on defense, and they're just not making plays right now. It's a little bit shocking.
It is shocking. Very shocking. But, hey, that's where we're at in college football. Adapt or die. Mike Gundy did not adapt. He is out. His brother, Kel Gundy, who you can hear him on the morning kickoff sometimes, says when he was asked, will Mike Gundy coach again? His quote was, hell yeah, and I'm going with him. So we'll see where Mike Gundy and Kel Gundy end up if they end up coaching. Hey, Liberty might be looking for a new head coach next season. Jeremy Chapel might get hired away by somebody. Could Mike Gundy head up the Liberty Flames, right? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure there'll be some program willing to Group of Five program willing to take a bet on Mike Gundy. Okay, we're going to continue our Ryder Cup conversation with Jeff Shackelford up next as the Craig Way Show continues after this.
The morning kickoff.
I'm 330.
You look great, man. By the way, you've done a lot.
112 pounds in a year and a half.
Yeah.
But that is the sausage casing shirt. That shirt was so damn tight that I could see my heartbeat.
I thought you might have had a Kruger Ann on your chest because of how tight it was.
Wow, you can see my necklace?
My
goodness.
God,
My God, man.
Did
That
they
shirt.
paint that on it?
Weekdays at 7.
iHeartRadio brings you Global Citizen Festival 2025 from New York City at Central Park's Great Lawn. Live performances from Shakira, Cardi B, Tyla, Ira Starr, Mariah the Scientist, Camilo, and many more. All hosted by Hugh Jackman. Join the movement changing the world at Global Citizen